What's going on, guys? Coach Madden, official trainer, YouGoProBaseball.com. And today I want to talk about the 8 things that I believe that got me drafted as a pitcher. And this is a little bit different video than normal. We're not talking about mechanics. We're not talking about velocity or pitching accuracy. But I think these 8 things, at least for me, everyone's going to be different, but these 8 things for me, I truly believe are what got me drafted. So if your ambitions are to play professional baseball or even at the collegiate level, these 8 things still play a part in playing college baseball. But these 8 things, I believe, got me drafted. Real quick, before we get into the video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button with the bell notification right next to it. This way you're notified every time I upload a new video, and I've got some great stuff coming out in the near future that I want you guys to see. So go ahead and do that real quick. Then hop down in the comment section below. Let me know that you subscribed, and then ask me any baseball questions that you may have, and I'd love to help answer those for you down there in the comment section. So let's get into it. The 8 things that got me drafted. The first thing, and I think this is probably the most important and the fundamental, if you truly want to play at the highest level of baseball or really any sport, is competitiveness. I was always very, very competitive, ultra competitive. I wanted to win every time we took the field. No matter whether it was the game, winning the game, or winning that at bat, or winning that pitch, or winning it. Even in real life, I'm competitive. I'm competitive with my siblings. I'm competitive with my friends. I'm just very, very competitive. I want to win in everything I do. Even when I'm at the grocery store with my wife and we've got separate cars, I'm like, all right, I'll race you home. Everything is a race. Everything is a competition, and I always want to win no matter what it is. So I think having that in you, or trying to instill that in you, is one of the ways that can help you become drafted. And I really think that that was a big key factor of me being drafted. Number 2, we talk about this one a lot, it's velocity. And I think velocity was a big reason why I got drafted. I was a sidearm pitcher. I threw a sinker, but I threw this pitch at 96 miles an hour. So I think that was a real reason, one of the big reasons why they drafted me, because most of the time those guys that throw that sinker pitch from a deceptive arm angle, they don't usually throw as fast as a traditional guy. And for me to be able to throw that pitch at 96 miles an hour and really throw a power sinker, not just a big loopy one, I think that was a huge reason that got me drafted. It was something different. You didn't see it a lot. I made myself a commodity. I made myself supply and demand. There wasn't a lot of guys like me, so that really helped, and it all came down to velocity. So if you're a guy who's struggling with velocity, you got to kind of figure that one out, because unfortunately it is the way that we rank or scout or evaluate pitchers. It's one of the ways we can see the number on the gun is a true number, and it's going to tell us how fast you're throwing. So obviously the faster you can throw, the better the chance you're going to have of being drafted. If you throw 95 and there's another guy that throws 92 and you guys are exactly the same, obviously they're going to take the guy that throws 95. So the faster, the better. And I really think this was a big reason that I was drafted. Number 3 is movement on the pitches. And I had a lot of movement, and I had a lot of late movement, and I had a lot of downward movement. And I think downward movement is important because that misses the plane of the swing. Guys swing on a plane, and if the ball is moving downward, it's a lot harder for them to adjust in the middle of a swing and hit that pitch. And then also late movement makes it even harder for them, because if it's moving early, for example, if you're a guy who throws a curveball and it breaks real early and it's big, guys see it early, so they have time to adjust and get on plane with it and make a good hit. But if your pitches are coming straight and then breaking at the last second and moving a lot, then it's a lot tougher to hit. So if you're working on getting more movement on your pitches, try to get more depth, more downward movement versus side to side, and also try to make that movement later. One tip that I got for you guys to make the movement happen later is to throw it harder, throw it with more effort. So if you're throwing, again, a curveball, I didn't throw a curveball, I threw a sinker, slider, and a forkball. But let's just, for example, say you're throwing a curveball. If you're throwing that curveball and you kind of flip it in there and you're about 80% effort, those are the ones that break early and break big. But if you throw that ball with max effort, a lot of times it's going to be a little bit sharper and break later. So try to put a little bit more effort on it and have that good grip and grind and release as you throw that ball. And the fourth thing that I think really played a role in me getting drafted was my ERA, my earned run average, really stats in general. Like if you're able to put up some good stats, then you're gonna catch more eyes. And that's exactly what I did with my ERA. I led the nation at Division I baseball at Auburn University. I led the entire nation in ERA until the very last game that I pitched. And I pitched against Alabama. I was an Auburn guy. And I pitched against Alabama and gave up 7 earned runs I think it was 7, in the last game of the season after leading the whole nation in ERA all year. And I still ended up top 10 in ERA, but I was crushed after that game, let me tell you something. But I think I caught a lot of scouts' eyes by having such a low ERA for a long time. Also, I had the most appearances in collegiate baseball that year. I had a lot of saves, a lot of holds. So I was putting up numbers. You know, numbers do nothing but help. Of course, it's great to have the physical abilities, throw fast, have the movement on the pitches. But if you can have numbers to back the abilities up, then you just make yourself so much more marketable, so much more draftable. So put up those numbers and try to dominate those hitters is all I can tell you. Number 5 is signability. Now, this one gets talked about a lot when it comes down to being draftable. And your signability just really is a term that scouts use and organizations use to find out how easy you'll sign for, right? They don't want to get a guy, they don't want to go after a guy or spend a lot of time, money, effort going after a guy who's probably not going to sign, right? So signability is something that they look at when they're drafting guys. And I think I was very signable. First of all, I was a senior sign, so I didn't really have any leverage. I couldn't, what am I going to say? Oh yeah, I'm going to go be a truck driver after college. No thanks, I don't want to play professional baseball. So I was pretty signable in that regard. Also, I was pretty laid back when they talked about rounds and things. They'll ask you, what would you sign for? How much would you sign for? They'll ask you all these questions if they're interested in drafting you. And I kind of played the role of, I just want to play baseball. I love whatever team I was talking to, whatever scout was across the table from me. Hey, I love the Nationals. I just want to play baseball. I would love to be a National. The Padres, hey, I love the Padres. I just want to play professional baseball. If you gave me a shot, I would be so grateful. Now, on the other end of that, I had an advisor who would, put in a little work behind the scenes, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But for the most part, I was very signable. They thought they could sign me for, whatever slot money is what they call it, that they drafted me in. I was slotted between the 5th and the 7th round, and I ended up getting drafted in the 8th round, which wasn't too bad because guys who are not signable, sometimes they drop, to the 20th round, 30th round, way down there. So I was happy with being drafted in the 8th round. The 6th thing I had going for me was size. Obviously, I'm a pretty big dude. I was 6'4". I played at between 230 and 240 pounds. I was thick. And I think that played a role in it. I was big, I looked durable, and I was durable. I led the nation in appearances and relief innings pitched in college. So, I think that is it's not going to do anything but help you. Now, again, I don't want to say that, size plays a role in being drafted or not, but I think it does help you. Nick Shaw was a former Brewers middle infielder, and he comes on the YouTube channel every once in a while and shoots some videos. And we shot a video talking about does size matter in baseball. And that's a great video that you guys want to watch. If you haven't watched that one already, I'll leave a little card that pops up or a link down in the description. But Nick's a little bit smaller of a guy. In fact, he was like 5'3" when he got into high school. So we kind of talk about the different aspects of trying to play at the highest levels as a smaller guy and as a bigger guy. So that's a great video. If you haven't watched that one, definitely go check that out. But again, I really think that all things equal, being bigger is better. And if you're tied with another guy, if I was going against another pitcher and we were pretty similar across the board and I was 6'4" and he was 5'8", they're probably going to go with the 6'4" guy. Number 7 is athleticism. I really think that athleticism had a big role in me being drafted. I was a very athletic pitcher. Now, sometimes you see pitchers who aren't very athletic. They can't field their position. They can't move very well. But I was not that. I was very, very athletic. I could dunk a basketball, do 360 dunks between the legs, all kinds of stuff. So being athletic was very huge for me because I think, first of all, it helped me be able to pitch as fast as I did, being an athlete. And secondly, I was able to get off the mound and make some plays. And that's important too when they're looking at you. And I think it kind of just ties into the overall picture of like, oh, this guy's an athlete. He's big, he throws fast, he's an athlete. You're just tacking on these things that they can say, oh, this guy's pretty legit. And I think being an athlete is a good one to have tacked on when those scouts are looking at you. So I think one thing also that we do wrong in baseball sometimes is sometimes we focus too much on the skills aspect of the game when we should be focusing on like strength and athleticism. And if we focus on that more, then the skill stuff is going to be a lot easier and we're going to be better at it. But we really need to focus on stuff in the weight room first, and then obviously like speed and agility, plyometrics, things that promote athleticism, because again, I think that was a very huge reason why I was drafted. Now, number 8, I had an advisor, and I think this really helped. You're gonna, when you get to this level and you're thinking about being drafted, you're gonna talk about, whether you should have an agent. By the way, an advisor is an agent. You just can't call him an agent until he actually signs the paperwork or until you're a professional athlete, because it's against the rules or something, whatever it is, I don't know. But you can have a family advisor help you with that, and then once you sign, he becomes your agent. So it's the same thing, just a different term as far as time when they are called an agent versus an advisor. Before the draft, he's your advisor. After the draft, he's your agent, and you have to pay him. So that's why it's kind of like, do I want an advisor? Do I want an agent? Because I'm gonna have to pay him, typically it's 3 to 5%, So some guys are just finding lawyers now, which is smart because you're gonna save a whole bunch of money, especially if you're a high draft pick. You're gonna save 3 to 5%, and you're just gonna pay a flat fee for a lawyer. But a lawyer is not gonna be out there in the stands chopping it up with these scouts and finding out. If I didn't have an advisor, I didn't know, I wouldn't have known that I was slotted between the 5th and the 7th round, That advisor was talking to those agents. And another reason that I liked having an advisor is because he's staying in the scouts' ear. So the scouts hearing my name all the time, not only because I'm putting up those numbers and I'm a good player, but now he's reminded, that scout is always reminded because my agent's hitting him up, my advisor at the time is hitting him up. So I think it's very beneficial. My aunt Barbara is actually a shark on the Shark Tank, Barbara Corcoran. And, when I was about to get drafted, my mother called her, it's my mother's sister, and was like, what do you think? Should we get the advisor? Should we get the agent? She's like, absolutely. You're about to step into a whole new ball game and you need someone to have your back. So again, I was happy about making that decision. I was happy with my advisor. He was a great agent when he was an agent. And then when you get into pro ball, he's gonna send you a bunch of gear too. So it's pretty beneficial. You just have to weigh the options, but I think he was a big reason that I was able to get drafted in the higher rounds. I hope you guys liked this video. I know it was a little bit different of a video, but I got another great video for you that you might want to watch if you're a pitcher, and it's how to instantly increase your pitching velocity. Instantly, right? Instantly. Like, you can do this stuff that I'm going to show you right away after dinner or whenever you watch it, and instantly get your pitching velocity up. So I'm really excited for you to watch this video. It's totally free. All you got to do is click the link down below. You're going to go to a page where you're going to enter your first name and your email in, and then it's going to take you right over to that video. You'll watch it, and then give me some feedback, because I've been getting a lot of feedback from guys, and they're loving it. They're telling me that they've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 miles an hour out of just doing those 3 simple things. So again, I'm really excited for you to check that out. Just click that first link in the description down there. And again, give me some feedback after you watch that. Of course, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, click the logo right over here so you can get subscribed and stay notified every time I upload a new video. And of course, if you want to watch some more cool pitching videos, I got some good ones for you right over here. Thank you so much, guys. Hop down in the comments and let me know what's going on with you. I'll talk to you down there.